We're not waiting for legislation, we're actually doing it anyway. We're decarbonising right now our cement and our concrete, and we're passing that through right now to everybody. And I just think you don't have to wait. Every individual can make a difference.
The Superhome standard is well above the current building code, even though the current building code's been lifted a little bit. It's still not enough, and it's not a holistic approach, where the Superhome movement has a holistic answer, the base better best tool, which is really great. So it gives people options about how they can do better. But what is your health worth? You know, your kid's going to the doctor every 5 minutes because you're in your new code minimum home, you've got black mold forming on your walls. I mean, it's just not good, and it shouldn't be allowed. The government needs to do better.
If you just do it to the standard, you're going to have a cold, mouldy house. Whereas if we put a bit more insulation in, put some ventilation in, you're going to have a client that's going to be happy. They're going to be in a warm, healthy house.
We're not delivering the warm, healthy homes that a lot of people seem to profess to.
The building code is on the move. So the building code is changing, and you know why it's changing? It's changing because of pressure from the likes of Superhome. It's now becoming understood that the building code was not performing the way it needs to here in New Zealand. The building code has been slow to change, but it is changing. And there are new aspects of the building code that are lifting the level of insulation required. They're not mandatory at this stage, but that's recognising what the Superhome movement have been saying for the last 5 years, that there needs to be change. And legislation changes things, but it's very slow to change legislation. And so it just takes time. And we are building homes ahead of our time, but there'll come a time when these are normal. These are standard. It will be recognised that it's normal to have a home with a high degree of insulation, to use non-conductive windows and doors, to have greater thermal resistance in the windows, to have floor slabs that are insulated, you know, to have ventilation systems and inbuilt heating, and that is cost effective to run. So these they're catching up. We don't. I mean, we don't mean to be arrogant about this, but it's technology that we've come across that we need to be adopting. It just makes sense, and we're getting there.
Base better best through the Superhome movement is my understanding is looking at the building code and aiming to always be above the building code.
You get these clients who have the time, they're taking the time to understand, they recognise the code is not sufficient. They want to build above it because they realise there's a better world out there.
And rather than just sort of sticking with what's currently trendy and what's currently acceptable as a minimum standard in the building code, we've wanted to do things that make a bit more sense in terms of the durability and health of the participants, to the point where as a standard part of our conversation when we're taking the brief, we go sort of, okay, we understand what your room requirements are, we understand the sort of style you're looking for, we understand your budget. Have you thought about, well, then we'll go and say, well, as a standard, we think you should do better windows, better insulation at the very minimum. Are you okay with that? Here's why we think the benefits are. And I would say, apart from people who are on an incredibly tight budget, we get by on just about all the time. And they don't even have a second think about it anymore. So, and when I explain to them, they say, oh, we've talked about a lot of this in Superhome. They say, well, we are doing it to the building code. And we go, no, we're definitely going to do more than the building code, because that's not what you have to do. That's not what's best for you.
You can step up in insulation. We are lucky now that the building code has improved. It could go further, but at least we are on the right path of getting better R values in our houses by building code already. all of my colleagues who have already done super homes in the past have surpassed those building codes anyway, by far. So we are not concerned now that the building code is coming up, that we won't have the solutions to put in place. We do have that because we've done that already.
So a lot of what we're talking about with super homes is here's the building code down here, and what we want to do is deliver a product that's great for people here, but that's because it's measuring against the building code. All right, building code touches on ventilation, which is a window, not good enough. So we're going to do better with a ducted HRV, right? But when you look at things like acoustics and the environment that you place yourself in, there's nothing in the building code, so therefore there's nothing for us to better. So it does get overlooked a little bit.